there, it was crazy. It was crazy. So we've been through a lot. So what I'm trying to do is leave a lot of the stuff. Um, Trying to wrap up the new year
Mm-hmm.
and look at the what 2022 is going to bring about. Um, Reset, rethink, and restart. And a lot of that is the reality is this, and you probably understand this is that um, we are human beings. Being meaning we are present. This is us now. We're not human past. We're not human future. We're
Mm-hmm.
human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So I really kind of just want to get in that mode and just enjoy whatever it is that we're going to experience in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Relinquish and get rid of the things that I can't do anything about anymore. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect people to get rid of memories that they need to hold on to, but it's okay, and it's encouraged to get rid of things that don't serve you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you have things that are negative, and you're bothered by them, things that your parents did, your whatever the case is, or your ex girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever happened, you lost your job, whatever. It's done. It's over with. Let's figure it out, release it, move on, move forward, and let's step into a new.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of re is really that discovery of re, and I don't know, we didn't get into it, and again, I don't want to bore you with stories, but so re is again in a new. So when you say RE and rebuild, rethink, restructure, I didn't know this until I started digging into it. As I started to build, the product and the brand, um, I didn't realize that re was separate, and re means again and anew.
Mm.
And build, if you say rebuild, it's almost two different words. So you're going to do again anew, a build of something new and different. Um, and the reality is that every single day is a reset for all of us.
Mm.
Um, it says it biblically, and again, I don't know your spiritual background, but you have enough problems to worry about tomorrow, and you should not worry about what happens. You can only really worry about what's happening and what's going
Mm.
on today,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really the only thing you can control.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control tomorrow, although you can have thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring back and resurrect yesterday because it's
Mm-hmm.
done. Um, you can only deal with the present reality. Um, and it's hard to absorb that, but the reality is that is what it is. We only have this particular moment,
Mm-hmm.
so you can control it essentially, where you can feel like you can get better. um, you can do things to dictate the forward momentum and motion of certain things, um, and essentially got to kind of go with the flow. you know um, Too many of us beat ourselves up for shame and problems and things that happened that we could have, should have, would have. It is what it is. You can't bring it back. Can't change. You can change in the sense that you can do differently, but you can't change the past technically. You can alter what the potential near future looks like, but we just got to deal with it. So those are just things that I'm just trying to absorb and get better at. And I want to make those situations and opportunities more positive than negative, because they should be positive versus negative. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, it's cool, but it's. I wish more people had the awakening of it. I
Mm.
wish more people really like you are doing, Matt, and it's awesome to hear your stories. Is seeing that we have the power to control our existence and our perception of the world and life, where most people don't think that they have that control, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm
yeah, they
here.
don't even know it's there.
They only see what they see and what the world tells them to see.
Yeah, and actually, part of my journey as well is learning who to tell what to, or who to share what to. Because as I was coming to the understanding of some of this, who do you want to share it with? Your loved ones. but sometimes everyone, well, we're all on our own journey. So like you said, it's for some people, but also for others to never come across this in their entire existence.
Yeah, we had the discussion today with one of the partners that's in the project that we're getting ready to launch a project in September 1st. We've been working with copywriters and everybody to get everything ready and ready for market. And, he's like, Chris, the big majority of the people that are going to hear your message are the ones that don't know you first. And it won't be until your message is really spread out and it's gaining traction that the people closest to you are going to be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I've been telling you this the whole time. I told you this 3 years ago. Damn it. I know it was drunk, but I told you. Yeah, you wanted to listen to me now because you see the damn Lamborghini in the freaking driveway. What do you think? I sold 300 copies of my ebook online about the power of three. I made $10 million and I bought 3 Lamborghinis. Now I'm famous. Thank you. But it's the truth, because you can't, because the people that know you the best, they don't see you that way.
Mm-hmm.
They see you as, oh, Matt, yeah. He smoked weed when he was 10. We know what he does. That's why he went to Bali, so he can sleep with a whole bunch of women and smoke weed and do drugs. No, I'm not saying that's what you do, but it's just like, because they know, they think they know you, right? They think they know you. In marriage, it's also the same thing. Like, you can be married and you're married to somebody for so long and you want to change, you want to do things differently. And sometimes it's like, you don't want to do things because you feel like, oh, well, I can't get away with this. I can't do this because, they're going to think that I'm not this person or I'm not whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an individual, mental block that you have to break, because I can't dictate what I'm going to do or not do because I think my parents are not going to like it or my significant other is going to whatever. No, if that's what I'm feeling, that's the change that I want to make, I have to do that, with or without, some sort of, approval. And you just got to run with it and you got to do it. And okay. And so let that be. If your audience, your new audience, are a whole bunch of strangers, then so be it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Because most of them are going to come with non-judgment because they don't know you any better. They're only going to truly hear what you have to say, hopefully sincerely. And then if it's really genuine and it takes wins, then all the other people around you are going to be like, oh, so that's what you've been talking about. I get it now. Sorry I didn't listen to you earlier. Hopefully that'll be the conversation that's had.
You're talking exactly about my experience right now. My entire audience is all new people from just this year, basically.
Yeah, it's cool though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's fresh. It is totally people that you've just never connected with before, and then they start digging you and your story. So, it's kind of nice actually, because you can just start brand new. Just don't have to bring anything from your past.
And exactly, but it's okay to bring things from the past, but it goes with that whole resetting mentality that you're okay with resetting. Sometimes parts of your surroundings are not, but we can't dwell and get stuck on this. Is the biggest problem I think that people have and humans have, is that we're so concerned about what people around us are thinking or feeling, and we judge our emotions and our reactions on other people's emotions and reactions, that we don't stay truthfully to. I really want to encourage people to we got to do ourselves. And I said earlier with the Jim Rohn comment, I think it's very, now more than ever, I meditate on it. I think it's, it's important. In order for things to change, you must change. In order for things to change, you must change. You must change. Things to change, you must change. Things to change, you must change. You must change. Not things to change, you and your family change. Not things to change, you and your spouse change. Not things to change, you and your mom change. It's for things to change, you must change.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Because people will say, like, kind of delicately, and it's and just kind of whatever. you come into this world alone, you leave this world alone.
Mm-hmm.
Biblically also saying, when you come face to face with your maker at one point, God or that higher power is going to judge you and you alone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to, say, oh, bring your mom over here. Because I know you thought that she was part of the situation, but she wasn't. Bring her over. You thought your dog, bring them over. And he's like, no, what did you do?
Yeah.
I gave you an opportunity. I didn't know. What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
You jump off an airplane. It's just like, and that's kind of the hard. I think that's the really hard part about it, because we feel like there's certain people that hinder us, or we can't do because, or we
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't, because it's always like some sort of standard that we set for ourselves, and we're just putting our own barriers in front of our place. And it's like, the one thing I look at too is, I love my family, love my children, love everything, but I'm also here on this earth for me to experience something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what a lot of, parents and families, you get so caught up in being a provider, taking care of the family, being this, being that, that you lose sight, track, and you lose yourself for this whole other something. And I don't want to leave here not fully engaged in experiencing what I want for me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I love my family. I love all that stuff, and they're great. But I have to find a certain balance for it, because I would only expect my children and everybody else to, like, when they come time for them to be in that growth period, that they're going to do what's best for them, makes them happy. I don't want their father or whatever to slow them down to not do something. So yeah, so it's a delicate balance across the board, man, and it's cool when you can start being, aware and self-discover, like, options and opportunities, and then balance it. You don't have to go too left field. I mean, I assume, like, you're a single guy, so you don't really have, any kind of leashes or restraints on you at the moment,
I have a
which
I have
is
a
great.
girlfriend.
So, oh,
But I have
you
been
should be
single
living
for a
the
very long time.
you should be engaged and married by now, man. What are you waiting for? She's like, you better put a ring on it. You better put a ring on it. You're like, dancing and stuff. Um, yeah, but no, listen, I get it. I love these conversations, man. Let's continue to have them. I'm excited to fill you in a little bit more on the Power of Three as it gets closer. We're looking for a launch date of September the 1st. We're looking at some pretty cool things, towards the end of the year, and then I'm actually trying to see if I can build out like a soft 6-city tour next year to go to, like, 6 different places, mostly in the U.S. obviously for now, and do these 3-day retreats to really kind of grow the brand and really have the live interaction. And I really believe that I don't want what I'm trying to do to be Zooms and virtual and
Mm-hmm.
webinar type stuff. Like, I believe that what we do for a living, and what we're engaged into, we have to be in front of people.
Sure.
Like, I would love an
Sure.
experience, let's say, with you, to be in front of you and, like, have, shake your hand and have a heart to heart, genuine conversation where you and I can be like, we're here.
Sure.
That, in order to change people, you need to be with people, in
Yep.
my perspective. And cool, the virtual thing, we can't be everywhere at all the same time, but as much as I can be in front of people, that's my existence. That's my personality. So that's my hope in the new year, um, to grow, to improve my relationships at home and my wife, my children, and just in my own personal reality as I go out and try to help other people.
I love
Because
it,
I have to
brother.
put myself in check. Yeah, I got to put myself in check, and I got to put myself in, like, all right, don't go preach something that you're not doing, Chris Cruz. Make sure that if that's what you're talking about, then you're being about what you're doing about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people talk about shit, they don't do the same thing, and I've been guilty a little bit of those things. We're good at coaching and preaching, but then we don't follow the same laws.
Um,
So
this
I'm
is something.
excited. Go ahead.
Well, this is something that I truly, truly focus on. Uh, Preach what you've already practiced,
Yeah.
not
And it's hard
practice.
to do. And that in itself is it's its own little training and focusing on how do you do that, how you do that better. And with the power of three is about mostly about repetition,
Yeah.
because in order to create new habits, new neural pathways, you have to have repetitive, system place.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the problem that people have difficulty with, because they want to do something, but if they're not consistent with it,
Mm-hmm.
um, it falls apart and they lose track, and they fall back into the same, they go back to, back to zero. Um, so one of the things that I'm just really trying to do better is, and it looks like you're doing the same thing as well, is just creating consistency and
Mm-hmm.
habit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you do those things, the brain will start to recognize that and then start to establish that as new programming.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
Even lately, like even today, I was like really, this morning I was in really good mood, and just trying to look at everything with gratification and being happy. And it's so funny because then I'll just reach out, like I'll just talk to the person in the grocery store. I'm like, so how are you? And they're like, I'm fine. Like
Oh yeah.
I just started. And like, really, that's great. What else is happening? And they're like, no, nothing. But they're working an hourly job. They're miserable. Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I feel sad for people like that, because like, is this by choice or by,
Mm.
and it's like, you can choose differently if you really wanted to. You don't
Sure.
have to do this. You decided to come here. You decided to wake up. And if this is making you miserable and you want to stay here, then you're making the decision to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really want something else, then find something else to do. Go figure it out. So, but at the end of the day, we're not superheroes. We can't save the world completely, but we can do our best to save a lot of the pieces of the world. Um, and along the line, we can educate ourselves and better ourselves. Hopefully, leave a legacy
Mm-hmm.
and make some nice friends along the way, and end up in Bali on a nude beach or something. I don't know. I can never do that. No one wants to see me nude for sure.
Yeah. One of the things that you speak about when you said that you think when you're talking to the lady at the grocery store. So I have part of um, living here in the villa that I live in. I have staff that come do all the cleaning every day, and they take care of the place. And
I love
um,
that.
yeah, it's kind of like butlers, I guess you would say. And so when they come over, though, they're always seeing me working. They're like seeing me doing all the stuff in the house, and obviously they're curious, like, what the heck is this guy doing? And unfortunately, I think some of the Westerners that stay here don't treat these people that nicely. But for me, I've got this one 22-year-old kid. I've bought in, so the language here is called Bahasa, and I bought him. I've been getting him reading, and so I bought him all these kind of books in his language, and now I'm getting him to read Think and Grow Rich right now.
Oh, really?
This
I love
yeah,
it.
this young 22-year-old Indonesian kid's now coming back, and I go to him and I'm like, so what you learn? He's like, I know that my mind is powerful. I can create what I want. And I'm like, nice, man. Like, this is an
I so love that.
incredible opportunity. Like, this guy would be nowhere near this information at
No,
all.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's extending the arm, and what you said earlier. It's unfortunately, you get people that they don't care. They feel privileged, and you probably do get Westerners or whatever that come in there and like, I'm on vacation and
yeah,
go to
exactly.
work,
Yeah,
and it's sad but true. Um, a lot of those people, they don't do what they're doing by choice. They're
sure.
surviving.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
that's what they got to survive. So the last thing that they want to do is probably clean whatever.
Yeah.
No, listen. Nobody wakes up and say, "I'm going to go clean hotels today." How much fun is that going to be?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to go clean somebody's shit toilet that they threw up in because they drank their ass off last
Mm-hmm.
night, and I got to be the one who got to clean it up for like $3 an hour.
Yep.
But unfortunately, in most of the world, I mean, that's the reality. It's just that's how they survive, and that's what they got to do. It is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's scary because they don't know any better.
Yep.
So I think what you're doing is very honorable. That you know, listen, that little if that little gentleman, all he got was that little piece of nugget information from you, and you give him that book, you have imprinted such a significant part of his world for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You literally might have changed the whole correspondence of how
Yep.
he thinks of the world
Yep.
because you gave him a book, and he'll end up in fucking Wall Street in Manhattan owning the whole damn block. He's like, this fucking guy from Canada, gave me a book, and now I rule shit, and I
Yeah.
have 10
Yeah.
yachts
Yeah.
and 6 jets.
I,
And at that time, you'll still be a friend. You'll be his friend on Facebook.
and I just
Real as
pump him.
hell.
I just keep positive reinforcing him. Like he'll be
Yeah,
like
that's
washing
awesome.
dishes, and I'll be like, okay, like I'll tell him like, what are you grateful for today? Like, what are you thankful for? Um, and he'll be standing there, and then I'll be like, okay, repeat after me. He said, okay. I'm like, my mind, and he go, my mind uh, is powerful beyond belief. Is powerful beyond belief. I can have, be, and do anything. I can have, be, and do anything. And then I'll be like, okay, now just say this out loud. I was like, you're washing dishes right now. Like, I'm about to go to bed, but like, just keep repeating this out loud. And when you drive home on the scooter, just start voicing that out loud. And so I'm walking upstairs and I can hear him say, my mind is powerful.
What's so amazing about that is that person, and especially in that level where you're at right now, and there's so much that all over the world, they're they're sponges,
Oh, he's so
and
receptive.
they have been tainted by
Mm-mm.
what like the Western world and all this shit has, where they're like, I don't care about that. I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
to freaking
Yeah.
6ix9ine and this,
Yeah.
that, and fucking whatever, and like it's some bullshit. You're
Yeah.
like, really listen to that fucking jerk off? Are you kidding me? It almost makes me. I'm thinking I'm a macro level visionary person. I almost want to start a movement. Everyone wants to bring money and stuff to these different countries and food and whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to bring knowledge and
Yep.
education before you bring, like, it says again in the Bible, like, man doesn't survive on bread alone.
Mm-hmm.
We need word, we need encouragement, we need knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know knowledge and encouragement and word, I don't need just your money and your food, because I'm going to figure out how to get it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is that most of these countries and these places, they just become successful to their physical needs,
Mm-hmm.
and not so much of their overall success and needs, what they need as humans,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
um, that's why fasting is such a cool little thing, because fasting takes away your physical needs and urges to want something that's materialistic, and get out of your physical body and get into your mental mind. So I think it's amazing what you're doing, and I think there's an opportunity to probably grow that
Yeah.
and do more with that.
Yeah.
So you should really consider trying to figure out how you can expand that, that kind of movement, and help others, just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So this is something
You
that
could be like Mr. Miyagi.
well, the thing too, right? It's like my influence on them is so crazy because like first I'm a white man, right? Like so for them that it's like, you know, we're perceived as kind of like I don't know how they perceive us, but like almost like a celebrity in a way, right? Like they just like can't fathom that I'm living in all of this, but imagine this. This is I'm just realizing by talking to you how crazy it is must be for him. But I'm like in this villa, and I'm like, you come here and you're cleaning, but I was like, take a look around for a sec. You see this information in this book? If you understand it, You're going to be standing here in a lot shorter period of time than it took me to stand here. You can have this. You can have this. And so imagine being influenced by like this white man that you kind of seem as like, I could never do what he's doing. And he's telling you, you can do it. You want this, you can have it. You can have more of them if you want to.
You definitely, you know what I'm thinking too, Matt? You know what I like to do, and I know we don't have to record some of this stuff. Now it's just us talking.
Sure.
You know what kind of awesome is, why don't we do something, and why don't, you know, if you're okay with it, I'd love to interview him and talk to him, let him see a little bit of what I do, because I'm sure, you know, I'm sure he knows some of the people that I've talked to and interviewed in life, and give him a bigger experience and say, you know what, I'm giving you the book, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna throw the headphones in, I'm gonna put you on a call with somebody on the other side of the world who's worked with all these big celebrities and whatever, and you open up doors like that for young people
I
and just
know.
people in general.
I know.
You
It's so
change the
incredible.
course of the way they think about everything in their life. Especially because if they don't know any better, if their life has just been, they've seen their parents just work, they live on this island, this is what they do, they go to work, they pay bills, they go home, they eat mediocre, you know, simple life, simple this, simple everything. And in their lives, that's all they're ever going to genuinely experience, because they don't know any better. They live on an island in the middle of freaking anywhere. They don't see the opportunities. They're not granted with any of it for the most part. And like you said before, probably in most cases, they're just treated like workers, and you know, just below everything. You know, you're here to clean. Thank you. They go back to their home, their little village, wherever they live. They eat whatever, and I'm sure they have some sort of happiness on some level, and that's all they know. That's it. So, you know, you're the one that if you took anything in life and you took that one thing that you're doing right now, you've succeeded in life. Like you almost don't have to do anything else. You know, and that's tremendous. You know, it's so funny because I have a couple of young people. I didn't really choose to mentor, but they don't leave me alone. And you know, one of the guys is I brought up a couple of artists that ended up getting signed with Warner Brothers and some other stuff. So then I had other artists that, you know, would troll me and say, "Oh, can you help me?" And I have one gentleman too that I've been helping. He's 20 something years old, and now I'll feed him little things here and there, and I'll throw him like a video, and he told me the other day, he goes, "Chris, you don't realize like some of the stuff that you tell me is so powerful for me to like hear and listen to, you know." And a lot of times I just say stuff. I'm not even really thinking of, like, you're probably just saying stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just things that are in your head, and you're like, "Hey, thinking you are rich, read it. Oh, do this mantra and say this." And he's like, "Okay, I lick your butt. I lick your butt. I lick your butt." Because you could probably say the same thing. You'd be like, "Okay, I do that." But you know, whatever I tell these kids, I don't say because of anything. They're not giving me anything. They don't owe me anything. I don't owe them anything. They're not paying me for anything. But you know, it's a responsibility as we get older and as we become, you know, more wise, that it's just like, and you know what? It's funny because I feel like you know, we're talking. It's an unconscious responsibility that looks like you, like me, like a lot of us. We'll just do it, not because we have to, not because we need to, not because somebody's watching, not because the video is recording, not because we're getting paid, not because of anything else, but hey, little man, little person, so and so, take this, do this, read this. And it's just literally an unconscious way of just spreading, you know, some value, a word or something. Because the reality is you don't have to do anything.
No.
You could be like that white man sitting in the room and be like, "Thank you, bitch. Clean that shit." Yeah. You almost done because I got to do a Zoom call.
Exactly.
But you're passing on, you know, wealth of experience and knowledge, and I really believe this to be true because I've kind of done it with, not on that level of where you're at, but um, you don't, sometimes you don't know what you're passing on, and you're doing it unconsciously,
Hmm.
and then you change somebody's life forever.
Yeah.
And not only change somebody's life, you might be changing his life, and then his spouse's life, and his brother's life, and then one day he's gonna have kids, and he's gonna pass that on. And next thing you know, you change a whole freaking generation of kids and people
Hmm.
because of you gave one book away
Hmm.
or you told them to do a mantra. So it's cool. I respect that. Kudos.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when it comes from the heart, like it doesn't come from anywhere else. Um,
Yeah.
the way I try to approach my digital life is like do the actions and then just so happens the camera's there. But if it wasn't, it's all good too. Like I'd be doing a lot of the things I'm doing. I'd just be doing anyways. And I have been doing them just like I got social media for the first time at age 30. So I'm 31 now. So I've had social media for a year now. And yeah, I think what people are really craving in this day and age is that realness, human to human realness. And so I think the challenge that a lot of influencers and people on the space are facing is like they're trying to fabricate moments and they're posturing. Um, but I feel like we should just live life and just so happen to have the camera there or do the actions. And so for him, um, it's purely for the power of that. I just think of myself when I was that age. And if I had me at that age, like what would I want and what would I need and what kind of time would I appreciate from someone giving me? And so um, when you see the light in someone's eyes, I think if we can shine light into that light, like I think it's very powerful. And then everything is like when we know at the quantum level, like we're all energy vibrating at different frequencies. So there's a transference of energy that is happening beyond space and time when you're gifting someone in their mind like to the understanding of how reality works to a certain extent and being able to give someone a touch of peace or hope, especially in sometimes a hopeless place. um you don't, it's beyond everything. Now we're talking on the spiritual level, it's beyond form now. And there's, as you give you receive. So I'm receiving in the act of giving to him and seeing him come back the next day with his chest out a little higher, his head tilted up, a little bit more, because I know that this guy's like feeling really good about what he's learning and how he's feeling and excited to tell me about what he learned. And so
That's
that
awesome.
to me is like, this is life really, in a way, for me at least. It's beyond followers or bank accounts or any of that stuff. Like this is the stuff that I think, I believe as human beings, what we're thirsting for is this like realness of just pure kindness. Like that's it. It's just kindness. This kindness to one human being to another. Um, and so I looked at it and I'm like, okay, it's so incredible. Like I could give this guy $10 or I could buy him Think and Grow Rich. He'll go guaranteed to that store and buy a bag of chips and pop because like they don't have really nutritional understanding here. But think about what this guy's gonna do with this. It's like, so like if we want to really help them, we invest in their mind, teach them practical things to help them, live life at a higher level. And what's so beautiful about the people here, like you go to these rough places, like some of these like their living conditions are pretty harsh, right? They're so receptive to us. So you're planting, although they don't have a great start, you're planting in fertile ground because they don't got the luxuries that we've got in North America. So for them, it's like kind of interesting. Your ROI goes up way more if you find the right ones. I mean, it's in America too, or Canada too. But like you said, it's like the kids that we're dealing with are like all up on 6'9" and this type of stuff. Whereas these guys, they don't got that. And Indonesia is a quite spiritual place. I think 70% are Hindu. So they're extremely respectful. Their traditions are still here. Um, so like I find like it's like, yeah, it's a really great place to invest in people here because they'd be more willing to apply what you're giving them. So there's nothing that feels better when you're sharing your time with someone and then you see them come back with results. And so that's what I've been experiencing here. And I'm right now just doing it with him, but like I would like to do it with more of them, and especially his age. I would love to do it with more young guys like him. And what's so beautiful is this what makes the whole story a little bit better. Since my time living in the villa, his dad passed away. Now, in their families, like, you know, the dad is the leader, and the kid follows the dad and all that type of stuff. So this guy has just been absolutely lost, like just rough time for him. So I said, in some of the circles that have been around, when you get around someone like this, you actually call them your uncle and they help you like as an uncle would. So you can look at me as like your uncle. And man, it touched my heart because it's just like, this guy's been in some storms. And so when you can help someone through that storm or just like be there for them, like as a shoulder, it's just like, yeah, this is what living is. It's like, this is the help we can provide each other, from no other place but your heart. That's just what it comes down to. And the kindness that I can share is through the darkness that I've been through. um, and the amount of time that I've needed that and didn't have it. That's what's incredible about all this. I didn't have it, so that's why I can give so much. It's because I didn't have it. I was alone in a lot of what I've experienced. So that's how I've been able to be so gracious in my wisdom and sharing my time with people that are especially in what he was in and still is getting through. Um, because yeah, he was pretty low for some time, but now he's like, and now he's, like I said, he's mantraing in the kitchen like, my mind is powerful. So his accent's so funny too when he says it. It's just like, man, all right, let's see where this goes. Like, please, like, hopefully he just keeps going, but like, let's see where this goes in 5 years. Like, what are you going to be doing?
So how could we expand something like that? Because like I'm my head's spinning on a whole bunch of different things that um, I think that I'm curious to. I have one of my ex girlfriends just followed me on one of my profiles. um, Weird. um, so I'm thinking, and we have to have another conversation about this. Listen, I really love what you're telling me, and I start seeing visions of stuff, um, of opportunities, and all of a sudden I'm in my head. I'm like, what if we did like a retreat, like in places like Bali,
Yes,
and
yes.
we create this movement where
Mm-hmm.
we have this brand, and of course, we're a profitable company, and we help white people succeed. But our prof, our you damn white dumb people.
And white people help them succeed even more.
White people matter too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so freaking over it. Thank God I'm Hispanic, so we can get away with it.
Oh, you're
But
Hispanic?
yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. My wife's Brazilian, but
Oh, okay.
play
Hablas
a good white
español
person.
then. You
Yeah, un poquito.
oh yeah. Paquito?
So I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to understand your brand a little bit more and where you want to go with it. And why I'm saying that, Matt, is this. I'm almost 14 years older than you are. No disrespect. It has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with anything. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I definitely see where, we can. I said this earlier to somebody. I said, what I want to start doing is like real estate. I want to start buying up personal reality real estate. and almost taking people out of the game, because there's too many people that are doing things that they shouldn't even be doing anymore.
Mm.
There's too many people talking about things they shouldn't be talking about anymore. But nevertheless, I think sometimes in life, people are brought together. It might, listen, and I don't know, and I'm just talking out my butt right now for the moment. But what if this conversation leads to, like, hey, you know what? I want to help expand something, and I want to do more of this, and let's unite and create this or whatever. Like, what's your brand right now? Like, what are you teaching? What are you preaching?
Well, see,
Maybe
I'm kind of I'm about 3 months in with my brand development. So the mantra, like that, I essentially want to create a feeling in people that every
Mhm.
time they come to my page, they feel that they can be better, but not in a way that they feel less than, but in a way that they can feel accepted, but like inspired that, whoa, my life could be better. And I'm empowered, like I'm creating an empowerment feeling in people. So like not in a way where people are like
I'm
what's
just
that?
looking at you. I'm looking at you.
Oh, is that me? Yeah. So
I'm
like
looking at you. Wing arms.
yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I realized was I'm connected to this guy. His name's Mike Chang. He was in the fitness industry. He's back in 2007. He was one of the first, like, do you ever, I don't know if you remember Six Pack Shortcuts. He was big on the internet back then. One of the things I saw that helped with influence was body, especially with men. Um, for some reason, like a body, it just does well. I don't know why, as far as engagement goes. And so that's one of the things I've been studying since, from Mike Chang. He's like an Asian kung fu guy, basically, but he does real cool body movement stuff. And so I was like, okay, that's like one angle to draw people in. But really, what I want to do is to talk about the mind and the power of our mind and how it can influence our lives. And so I've been doing it for like 3 months now, so I'm still discovering. And so also part of interviewing people is leveraging their following and their stories and basically social proofing me. So like for yourself right now, like you said, you went right away when you say, oh, I've interviewed Kesha, Will Smith, this and that, it's like instant social proof. Um, because it's like, oh, you're someone that associates with those people, so you have to be of a certain caliber. So as right now, what I'm doing is building my core fan group, and that is like I'm associating myself with people like yourself that are in the industry doing cool stuff, that also love talking about their story and the hurdles they've overcome.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I agree. I'm actually going through your feed as well. Are you producing your content?
Yeah, I do everything.
So you're doing all the graphics and the videos
Everything,
and
all of it. Concept, creation, design, video, editing.
all right. So we have to have another conversation because it's also getting late over here. What I would like to do is I want to continue this conversation. I want to see how we can, somehow strategically work with each other and partner with each other. Um, Keep your brand, find the way to, help each other extend brands. Is that where you live?
What's that?
Oh no, you're like in this like apartment type of thingy.
Oh yeah, no, that's no, that was like one of the villas. That's a villa. It was like a 6 bedroom villa that we went to.
But I love the content, and I need some assistance with this. But more importantly, the way I look at it is there could be an interesting opportunity for us to help each other expand brands across the globe, where you can continue to stay connected to the Western side in the U.S. and through our relationships. I can feed off of, stuff that you're building and information. And, you know, respectfully, like, to me, the power of three is an evergreen, movement where it's really just the base of a thought process that can just live as an extension to anybody else's, you know, your own personal mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact of, what a possibility of what it could look like to create a movement or even a charity where we don't just go in and bring food and water. We go in
Mm-mm.
and we bring
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, we bring encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just here to give you your necessities, we're here to give you your reality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so much more powerful.
So much more
Imagine you
powerful.
spend 3 days with a group of young people, or
Mm-hmm.
and say, yeah, we're going to feed you, we're going to do barbecue, we're going to do all that stuff. We're also going to educate you. We're going to talk to you about life,
Mm-hmm.
not about money, not about whatever, but about what life really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's extremely powerful. And to me, I don't have a lot of relationships with people globally like you, and I want more of them because it helps me expand my personal, circle, outside of the U.S. and what I know here as an American or whatever. And listen, my wife's from Brazil, and we have family there, and that's another world. Um, I don't know. I think. Listen, I think this conversation can be much more deeper than we expected it to be. If you're open and willing to continuing to grow something, I want to take the power of three and I want to grow it. And some of the people that are standing behind me with this are going to make sure that I grow it. I am looking at potential significant financing to make sure that it grows and to do it right. Fortunately for me, is because I have people, American people on my end, that they just look at dollars. They want to make
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and they see it as an opportunity. And I'm essentially a product that they can expose to the market, and I'm cool with that. Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
fine. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go,
Yeah.
because I can do what I want to do and what I need to do to make. Money does make the world go round, and you need
Sure.
money to do
Yep.
things. If you don't
Yep.
have money, then you can't do anything. It's
Yep.
unfortunate, it's the truth. They talk about it in my church. They talk about it all other places. So I want to start as you are. I think you're doing a better job, and I would love for you to kind of mentor me and help me through some of this stuff. And I would love to actually ultimately, engage you to help me with some of my social media stuff,
Sure.
where you can help me produce the stuff. I'd love to do some sort of retreat, definitely at one point in Bali, sooner than later. And then know that I'm starting to establish relationships globally, that as we start to expand these brands, we are starting to gain the right partnerships where we can do these things. I think that if I can walk into a couple of days with somebody like you in a place that we are at, and we can engage a whole bunch of children and young people and tell a whole bunch of little stories, and anything else that we say after that is going to be gold,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to be sold on, wow, look what you just did. Okay, what else do you have? Great, I'll take that too.
Mm-hmm.
And with all fairness, I would rather just do what you're doing all day long and not have to worry about that. If I didn't have to worry about money, it'd be great. But unfortunately, it's not
Yeah, I
realistic.
mean, and this guy's at my house, I'm not making much effort, it's like in between work sessions, he's just right there washing my dishes, so it's like
That's so
the
cool.
barrier to entry is like really simple. Like I actually have to give him my dish so to get it into the sink, so he's standing right there. He's in my home every day, so it's like,
That's rough.
it's not like I'm going out of my way to do much, it's like right
No, but
there.
that's the starting point, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the door that opens, and then you start to get encouraged, and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. How do I multiply this?
Well,
Because I
yeah,
would love to do
yeah,
more of
that's what
that.
I'm thinking too. I think the other thing too, Chris, which is really interesting, is like people love a story and people love a cause. Like especially like the millennial age now, it's like we need more than just the product. There needs to be a story behind the product. So like For example, my buddy in Toronto, he owns this brand called Peace Collective. It's and basically his brand has blown up because every shirt you buy, it goes towards feeding a family for lunch or something like this. So like part of the leverage of this, it's like when you invest in yourself, let's say for example the retreat that you're talking about, like so to these white people, it's like when you invest in yourself, you're not just investing in you, you're actually helping invest in, let's say, for example, Indonesian minds. We have this development where we're teaching young Indonesians how to grow themselves internally and how their mind works. So part of this cause is going to that. And then you go to a clip of the school or whatever that you're showing these kids that are saying, my mind's powerful. You know, and it makes for really good content and people want to get behind something, you know? So it's like, it's really marketable. That's what's crazy too. Like these causes are really, like, really marketable.
What other what other partnerships are you involved with right now?
Um, I'm just involved, like for my brand or in
Yeah.
general.
Your brand mostly.
Just me. It's all under me. I'm not with anyone or doing anything. It's all under me. I'm a one-man show right now.
Um, roller skating in Bali. Look at you.
I know, hey.
Now, look, man. Like, you're encouraging to me because although I've been around a lot of this stuff, I mean, this is very impressive. Are you? What are you using to make these templates?
I have Final Cut Pro, which is a video editing software, and then I
And,
use Photoshop.
and then Photoshop.
Yeah.
So you're just putting in the graphics and then you're rolling in the video. What do
Yeah.
you shoot? Are you shooting the video yourself? Are you doing it on an iPhone or are you doing it on something
Yeah,
else?
just using this. It shoots at 4K.
Yeah, which is
Oh yeah,
great.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. So you don't, and the sound quality is pretty spot on. So it's just like finding the location. So before I started all this, I came here and I learned videography. So my intention for coming to Bali, I was in Las Vegas and I got a vision in a hot yoga room to come to Bali because like Vegas just chewed me up and I was ready to get out. And
No,
it's
that's
so then I'm like, fuck it, let me just go to Bali. But I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I just can't keep club promoting. Like I can't keep doing this.
That's
Um,
what happened to me. That's where the power of
yeah,
re really kicked in.
yeah.
I
I
was
was
like, I
like,
can't keep doing events. I can't keep doing radio. Like, what is there? What else is there?
and like, you know, I was like, okay, my backup plan, I'll go to Ibiza if everything fails. And so I was like, I need to learn something. So I was like, well, I need to get around them influencers. Like, how do they do it? I'm like, okay, what's a way I can add value to them? I'm like, okay, well, they always need a guy to hold a camera. All right, let me start learning that. So I bought a camera in Las Vegas and I helped the guy get sober in exchange for him showing me how to use the camera. And so then I started developing a skill behind this camera. And so then I started, when I came here, like all these guys want content. So I was like, yo, I'll just create content. Let me just be around you guys. And so then I started being around a lot of the people here that have been doing it. That's the thing too, right, Chris? It's like on the internet, anyone can be doing anything, you know? It's like, but like, how do you know who's the people that are really doing it? And that's challenging. And so for me, that's why I was like, Bali's kind of like the land of the influencers. So what was nice is when 2020 hit, it kind of let all the fake people go because they couldn't sustain it. They had to go back to their parents' houses and shit. So when it came down to it, like my partner and I, we just like, yeah, we're staying. No chance we're leaving. And then what was nice is like it was really easy for networking. So I've been around a lot of the people that have been in the internet business for some time. And so I've been just like a savage learning so much about branding, online branding, storytelling, messaging, all this stuff. And so last 3 months, I've been putting it together, all my like wisdom into a product or my Instagram now. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm in the development of uh, building my own coaching practice. So I just did I think it's about a month beta testing with about 10 people, and it's just come out of that.